Howdy, this is DCIV with You Only Talk Once. Here I am again. Check me out on Twitter, DCIV Sports, Facebook, all that other stuff. Also, remember to check out Sports with Charity, hashtag C2 and Sports for You. Hit her up. Alright, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. Now, I'm from Texas. And so this topic is big for me. Now, I'm not saying it's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm just saying that it's a pretty good time of the year when there's football. See, Texas and football go hand in hand. We are taught from a young age that football is basically life. Now, don't get me wrong, it's only spring football, and you only have a couple of practices and one game, which is basically only between your team, but it's still football, and this satisfies a craving for a lot of people, especially college sports fanatics. I'm not saying it's the best time of the year, I'm just saying it's right up there with them. Now, you look at other sports and they kind of have the same thing. You got indoor track, which kind of prepares you for the outdoor season, and you just go through different things like that. But when you talk about football, it has the biggest following, and you just know that there's something there. Now, I go to Texas A&M, as I mentioned before. Shout out to my parents for getting me this cool A&M hat with the state of Texas on it. Best logo ever. I'm just saying. But the Texas A&M the defense has struggled this year with injuries going into spring game. But I was thinking about this. I was in my meeting, the battalion, the sports meeting, and my editor brought up a good point. Now, if the starters are hurt and you have all these backups and stuff getting time, playing in the spring game and stuff like that, will that help during the season with your depth? Now, I started thinking about that a little bit, and that's a very good question and it's not something that's explored a lot. But I want to say it gives them a little bit of experience, but it doesn't give them real game experience, which is what you want. Now, at the same time, we do have the starters coming back, and we have all this. We don't worry about the defense. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as last year. I'm just saying we should be pretty solid. But all in all, I just wanted to say that I don't think it gives you the depth that you really want to see in the defense just from a spring game. Now, other game time experience and stuff like that helps. But just spring game experience, I don't think it helps necessarily that much, especially because of the short time span in which you have to practice. Now, for my practical advice, I wanted to talk a little bit about sports in relation to life. Now, we are all taught as kids that you need to be in sports because it is team building. It teaches you how to work with people and stuff of that sort. And I want to say that while I do agree with it, I feel like every child should play team sports as well as individual sports, because I feel like if you don't feel a certain responsibility to get something done by yourself, then you won't necessarily work well in a team. But I do think that team sports are great as a young child growing up. And also something else that I've talked with my family about is that how it helps you to stay healthy, it helps you to stay active and stuff. I've been a fast food person all my life. And when I say all my life, I mean all my life. And I'm not saying that I'm healthy just because I played sports. I'm just saying that I'm in good shape and I've played sports all my life. Well, that's DCIV with You Only Talk. I'm DCIV with You Only Talk Once. Thanks and gig 'em.